Hey, yo guys. So, this is the third video for chapter 1, yung balanced scorecard approach. And this is not the main idea as I mentioned in the first video. No? Hindi ito yung main topic talaga. But you want to understand the scorecard uh, para ma-appreciate mo yung financial management mo. Kasi in most companies, as I mentioned, ang financial perspective would be the most important perspective of all. Understandable naman yun. Without the Finman, um, walang magsusupport ng lahat. No? Pag-hire ng tao, pagbili ng mga equipment, uh, training, operations, even yung customer focus. How could you have a customer focus kung hindi kumikita yung company, right? So in the scorecard, makikita mo yan lahat. So without further ado, this is the balanced scorecard approach. Yung ano yung balanced scorecard? It is a strategic planning and management system. Actually, mas ma-appreciate nyo sa Strama. No? If you have taken up Strama, then okay na. No? Pag hindi pa naman, magandang intro to sa Strama. No? Strategic planning and management system used to align business activities. I like to highlight on the word align. No? Ina-align yung business activities to the vision and strategy of the organization kasi kung mapapansin nyo, nandun siya sa gitna, yung vision and strategy. And kung mapapansin nyo din, this is not in terms of hierarchy. Hindi porke financial ang importante, ay wala nang meaning si customer. As I mentioned, without the learning and growth, di ba, hindi naman magiging okay yung operations o yung internal business. The customer focus would not have any meaning kung ang mga tao mo ay hindi okay, hindi trained, hindi well equipped, and then without customer satisfaction or customer delight, hindi ka naman magkakaroon ng magandang financial perspective, right? So, ganun din naman sa internal business. So, lahat sila ay on the same ground. In fact, balance. Pag sinabing balance, hindi naman ibig sabihin na 25% each, no? Specifically, lalo na for every department, pwedeng si marketing, mas malaki ang focus sa financial sa customer kasi branding, going out there, ang mga metrics namin sa marketing is more of reach, no? Yung mga post-reach sa digital marketing, ano dyan yung brand penetration, kilala ba yung brand mo, brand recognition, brand awareness, yan. So, lahat ng yun ay part ng marketing. So, baka ang marketing dyan would be around 40% financial kasi syempre, pag-attract pa rin ng customers na importante and then syempre yung customers. So, maybe 30% customer. Internal business, baka hindi sila masyado. No? Maybe around 10% lang. And then maybe learning growth is the remainder. Something like that. So, ganun yung balance scorecard. Maybe for individual department heads, like in your line of business, in a school, baka mas malaki internal business nila, no? For deans, for colleges, mas mataas yung internal business and learning and growth nila. For purchasing people, for finance people, syempre mataas yung finance nila in internal business. Something like that. No? So, ang balance scorecard would somehow place your strategy and the way you handle the business and the way you implement the strategy within across the department. Yeah. So that's what Balanced Scorecard is all about. So it was conceptualized back in 1992 by Kaplan in his book, no? First published in 1992, and then nagkaroon ng additional na libro. The next episode was in 1996. Strategy Focused Organization. No? That's Balanced Scorecard. Tapos meron pa yan ng early 2000, I think, yung strategy maps. So maraming nagawa na si Kaplan and Norton. And nangyari yan, naging siyang consultant. And he went around the US and eventually goes to Europe promoting yung balanced scorecard concept. So ang idea dito is the traditional performance measurement focuses on the external accounting data. Yung traditional performance na yun, no, na pag nagme-measure ka ng performance, nakafocus ka lang sa accounting data, ang point ni Kaplan, obsolete na yun. Uh, ang idea is to provide balance to the financial perspective. So yes, importante yung financial management, but there are leading indicators. So yun yung idea natin dito, lead measure. Kasi yung financial perspective is full of lag measures. Kung sabi yung lag, tapos na eh. So ito kitang-kita mo to pagdating sa marketing. For marketing of for customers, no, syempre, no. Pag ikaw nagma-market sa customers, for example in schools, nagma-market ka sa customers, nagpupunta ka sa mga schools lalo na nung wala pang pandemic, and then you want them to apply, no? Pag nag-a-apply sila, those are lead measures. So when madami ang mag-apply, mas madami yung eventually mag-enroll. So, ang importante is to know what would drive yung application. Siyempre, customer focus yan, pupuntahan mo ngayon doon. And hindi mo makikita yun kung walang magandang operations. Pag pumunta sila sa company mo, nakita nila hindi maganda yung palakad mo sa even in banks, no? Nag-open ka ng account, ang tagal, walang umaasikaso sa'yo. So, makikita mo, hindi pala okay dito. And hindi mo naman perfect yung internal operations kung walang training yung mga tao mo, di ba? So, makikita mo it's a scorecard thing, di ba? Nothing is ever perfect, but the way you balance it is there are metrics, kaya nga dashboard yan, may metrics dyan sa bawat perspective that leads toward financial perspective. Yung previously kasi, mga 1980s, 70s, 60s, ang importante lang is the bottom line. No matter how you do it, basta in the end, you produce the sale, that's it. Pero sabi nga ni Kaplan, back in the 1990s, hindi na uso yun. Kailangan balansin mo yung ibang perspective kasi yun yung nagli-lead towards the financial perspective. Okay? So, bakit daw gumagamit ng scorecard? Kailangan ma-improve mo yung organizational performance by measuring what matters. So, ayan, importante yung ano ba yung mini-measure mo, no? Para ka nagda-drive, as I said, kung nagda-drive ka ng car, marami kang pwedeng i-measure dyan. But the only indicators that come out in the dashboard are the important metrics, yung mga metrics that really matters. Metrics that really matter. Kasi pag lahat ng metrics nandiyan dyan, nagkakaroon ka ng tinatawag na analysis paralysis. Ang ibig sabihin ng analysis paralysis is that you have so many data to analyze, hindi ka na tuloy makamove, no? Familiar kayo sa sa mga Marvel heroes, Karnak is an example of that. No? Ina-analyze na lahat, no? Hindi siya tuloy makamove kung anong gagawin niya. No? Even sa nakikipaglaban siya sa sarili niya sa chess, wala pang tumitira kasi siya rin yun. Ina-analyze niya lahat to the end. So, mahirap yun. Ang tawag ng analysis paralysis. So, you don't want to have that. So, importante lang talaga are the organizational performance, measuring what matters, and then making a move when it matters. Importante yun. Lalo na ngayon, sa pandemic, we have what we call speed and agility at saka flexibility. Importante na flexible ka at saka at the same time, mabilis kang mag-decision. Ayun. So, increase focus on strategy and results. So, strategy and then results. Kaya, ang tawag dito sa Balanced Scorecards, Performance Management System, PMS. Saka Strategic Management System. Kaya nung lumabas yung Baldrige, 1987, parang connect si Balanced Scorecard, no? Kasi yung strategic planning connects with the scorecard. Align organization strategy with workers on a day-to-day basis. Correct? Oo. Meron sa strategy ng planning, no? For example, in Japanese companies like in my company, we have what we call the Hoshin Kanri. Yung Hoshin Kanri is a way of planning kung saan from top to bottom, nagbibigay sila ng direction, no? And then ginaguide niya yung worker on a day-to-day basis. align talaga siya from uh, top to bottom. And then you gather the data from bottom to top. So parang ang idea dyan is, for example, no, I have, and I'm a sales organization. I have a metric, no, that says 100 million shampoos sold this year. For example, that's my metric as the marketing manager. So, ibababa ko ngayon yan sa mga areas, no? Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Okay, 50 million kay Luzon, Visayas, you have 25 million, and then Mindanao, 25 million. Yung Luzon, limit naman niya yung mga area niya. Okay, Region 1 to 3, Region 1 and 2, to Region 3, ay, ito yung target mo. Region 4, 4A, 4B, yung target mo. Region 5, yung target mo. Tapos NCR, yung target. So, binibreakdown yan into into meaningful day-to-day activities. Tapos, bababa na naman yan, no? May mga supervisor na yan, bababa ka na sa mga individual level. Okay, para ma-meet natin yung target ng 50 million, bawa sa'yo, nakaatang sa'yo, 1 million bottles, meron kang mga agent na nagpupunta from street to street. Ultimo, parang sa mga companies like, for example, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, bawat street, meron silang ano yan, no, target. So, dito sa street na to, ikaw ang bahala sa First Avenue, Second Avenue, something like that. So, makikita mo yung strategy niya is guided from top to bottom. Ngayon, pag nag-gather ka na ngayon ng data, bottom to top yan. So, importante talaga din yung scorecard kasi nakikita mo, pumapasok ngayon yung mga data niya on a day-to-day basis. Kino-compare nila ngayon yan sa bawat galaw niyan, maybe last week or 1 month ago or maybe 1 year ago, no? Para makikita mo how well we're performing against, last year or 2 years ago, something like that. Kasi meron ka ng data. Okay? And then, focus on the drivers that are key to future performance. Andi dito ngayon yung sinasabi ko na lead indicators sa lag indicators. Lead measure kasi are things na nakita mo nang merong correlation. No? Makikita mo na okay, the higher this is, the higher the dependent variable or the higher the future performance. So for example, the higher the sign-ups in our initial meeting, for example, no, with agents, the higher the sales. So, kailangan mataas yung initial sign-ups. So, para ma-drive yung initial sign-ups, kailangan marketing yan, no? Todo usap yan, tatawagan mo araw-araw, kasama ka ba? May target ka ngayon dyan. Kailangan mga 150 akong agents darating sa first day, something like that. Pag dumating, 75 lang, push ka na naman yan sa susunod. Ulitin mo ulit yan kasi 75 lang, ang target mo 150. Uulitin mo na naman yan. So, makikita mo na po-focus ka doon sa mga drivers kasi yung mga drivers na yun yung nagiging susi para mag-perform ng better yung company. Yun yung tinatawag na lead measure. So, in this case of schools, ito yung mga visits sa school, yung mga nag-a-apply, yung mga nag-take ng exams, yun yung drivers na kailangan mong pataasin. So, paano mo mag-drive yun? Pupunta ka ngayon sa mga schools, tinan mo, nag-open na po kami ng enrollment, meron kang social media, tinitingnan mo yan, ilan yung nagiging reach ilan yung nagtatanong, no? Kami, mini-measure namin, ilan yung gusto mag-apply sa'yo, lahat yan. Kaya nga, importante yung nag-handle ng digital marketing. Improve communication of the organization's vision and strategy. So, bakit? Ang Balanced Scorecard kasi, may kita mo, nakafocus siya sa vision and strategy. Kasi pag financial, unang-una hindi siya, pag financial ang perspective ng company, yes, in a way, nakikita mo yung nangyayari, but ang main problem doon is that it is seldom, I would say, it is seldom inspiring. Bakit siya hindi inspiring? Imagine you or your copy. Imagine you, no, nanonood ka ng video sa YouTube or kaya nanonood ka ng TV and then suddenly yung advertiser sinasabi, okay, so you buy our products or use our services because we need money. Diba? It's not as inspiring as it looks. Importante kasi yung vision eh. Ang vision namin, we want to help the 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 Philippine, technicians in order for them to get to where they want to be. We want to accelerate their dreams. Yun yung amin, no, sa aming school. We want to accelerate their dreams, becoming a world rated global, technician, not only of Toyota but of all the brands. Di ba inspiring siya eh? We have the Filipino entrepreneur. We have the seafarers. Di ba? So, makikita mo na talagang meron kang kino-communicate mo yung vision mo and strategy. And it becomes meaningful and inspiring. You get a lot of following because of that. Eh, hindi mo makakommunicate mo yun kung financial perspective lang ipupush mo. Andun na ngayon ang customer focus. In our company, customer comes first. O, di ba? Metric namin yan, no? Ganito, ganyan. So, makikita mo talaga na may na-communicate mo ngayon yung vision mo and strategy in meaningful metrics. Naiintindihan na, okay, KPI pala nila yan, no? Something like that, no? And then, makikita mo dito, last, napaprioritize mo yun yung projects and initiatives, di ba? So, yan, I think, those are important things and significance ng balanced scorecard. Okay, so to continue, we have the four original business perspectives of the balanced scorecard. No? So, ang balanced scorecard model, it suggests that we view the organization from these four perspectives, no? Na banggit na natin kanina ng mga previous videos natin. So, pag nakita natin yun, nasa gitna din, vision and strategy, no? Dapat mag-develop tayo ng metrics to collect data and analyze that relative to each of the perspectives. So, if you notice, yung word na ginamit dito is develop the metrics. And somehow it rings the bell on the DMAIC principle, yung DMAIC principle of the Six Sigma. Na kung tutuusin, naka-angkla din naman doon sa, di ba, DMAIC. Yung MAI doon, MAI. MAI is from the original measurement, analysis, and improvement ng ISO, which is may kinalaman sa TQM kasi Kaizen, right? Continuous improvement. So, yung D is define, M is measure, A is analyze, I is improve, and then C is control. A lot of people align the controlling part from dito sa balance scorecards. So, mapapansin nyo dito yung financial, which is yung focus natin ngayon, ang tanong, to succeed financially, how should we appear to our shareholders? So, ang importante is are the objectives, measures, targets, and initiatives dun sa financial perspectives. Okay? Sa customer naman, nakaturo din yung customer dun sa financial. To achieve our vision, how should we appear to our customers? Internal business processes naman, to satisfy our shareholders and customers, so yung financial and customers, what business processes must we excel at? Saan tayo dapat nag-excel? So, in a way, para siya talagang strategic, di ba? Saan tayo dapat mag-excel sa ating business process para tayo ay makatulong maigi or mapaganda natin ang ating yung pag-increase ng shareholder value at the same time the customer satisfaction. Then, sa learning and growth naman, to achieve our vision, how will we sustain our ability to change and improve? So, ito yung mga perspectives, mga questions from the perspectives. First is for financial. Again, ito yung focus natin sa financial management, right? What must we do to create sustainable economic value? So, mapapansin mo rito, we are talking about being sustainable. The economic value is sustainable. We are talking about, as I said, hindi tayo dapat nakafocus lang sa bottom line. Ang word na ginagamit is sustainable economic value. We avoid uninspiring words like, to increase bottom line or to be profitable. Because if you hear something like that in your advertisements, then ang tingin mo na kagad sa business, ay, puro pera lang pala to, right? So we don't want companies, we don't want to support companies like that. Unless, of course, we are the shareholder, of course, we will say, oh, yeah, that's good for us. But if we are not, and we are just customers. We more or less we look at companies that really create sustainable development, not only in their pockets but also in environment, in improving the welfare of people, especially the less fortunate. Those are the underlying message dun sa creating sustainable economic value. That does not only mean the bottom line, but also the bigger perspective. In fact, ang business perspective, nakafocus din yan sa ano natin, sa even non profit companies. LGUs, kanyan. Uh, yun. Ginagamit din yun. Okay, so to satisfy our shareholders, stakeholders, what must be our levels of productivity, efficiency, and quality? Those are the questions for internal business process. Okay, for learning and growth, how does our employee performance management system, again, employee performance management system, including feedback to employees, support high performance? Sa customer naman, what do our customers require from us, and to how are we going to do, or how are we doing according to those requirements? So very aligned sa ISO, no? Parang ano pa rin yung customer focus, ano yung customer requirements, napag-usapan ba yun, and how are we doing to do that. So kung mapansin mo, lahat ng ito, align siyempre papunta sa financial perspective, which is something that we are also considering siyempre in the financial management uh, perspective. Okay, so ito yung mga example ng balanced scorecard measurements. Dito muna tayo sa baba. Learning and growth includes measurement for people, di ba? People and systems, di ba? People means employee retention, training, skills, and morale. Okay, andyan din yung ESAT, employee satisfaction, sometimes yung kaning-kaning career progression, succession planning, andyan yan. Lahat naman kinalaman sa people. Capacity, capability, yan. The systems naman, measure of availability of critical real-time data information needed for frontline employees. Minsan, minimeasure dito yung mga downtime ng system. For example, if you're an internet provider, gaano kadalas yung downtime, di ba? Yun, importante yan. BPO, importante yan. So, yung mga IT systems, availability niya, measurement ng uptime, those are the metrics. Okay, for internal business processes, includes measurement along the internal value chain. So, may internal value chain, may innovation. So, sa mga companies, sometimes measure nila yung innovation in terms of how many percent of the sales belong to the new product. So, for example, if you're iPhone or Apple, you have this amount of sales, billions and billions of dollars. How many percent of those sales belong to iPhone 12? Diba? O yung Mac, bagong Mac, no? MacBook Pro. Kasi if your bulk of your sales belong to or is being produced by iPhone 10, 10R, 10S, parang ibig sabihin hindi magandang innovation rate nito. Okay? Or sometimes yung degree or rate of production of the new products, yung speed, of development, those are important for some companies. Ito, how well the company identifies the customer's future needs. So that can be innovation as well. Okay, mga Kaizen projects. How many Kaizen projects have you implemented this year? How many Kaizen, you know, uh, bursts? Tinatawag nila sa operations. Okay, so operations, measurement of quality, cycle time, cost, yan. And post-sale services, ito naman yung mga after-sales, no? Warranty, repair, minsan pati yung mga defects, no? Yung mga muda sa Japanese companies, yung muda, yung waste defects, over-processing, waiting time, no? Motion is a defect, is a muda. Inventory is a muda, and then transportation, over processing or over producing. Yan. So those are our metrics. for internal business process. Tapos we have customers. Ang customers naman, dyan yung customer satisfaction, retention, customer acquisition, how many new customers you have, profitability, market share, brand recognition, as I said, brand penetration, mga digital marketing indicators like I would say post reach, engagement, yung kano kakabilis mag-react sa mga feedback, mga ganun. So, customer satisfaction, siyempre, number one yan. Financial naman, ayan, return of capital employed, ROCE, economic value added, sales growth, cash flow. Yan. So, makikita nyo dyan, it's not only just the financial statements. Maturity doon makikita, but there are also some other things sa financial perspective. Pwede mo rin dyan i-measure yung OPEX, okay? Yung budget performance or how well you're performing against your budget. Lalo na kung LGU yan, no? Kaya mga public companies, no? Maraming metrics additional. Okay, ano ba ang mga implementation success factor? Para maging successful ang Balanced Scorecards, kailangan magkaroon ng executive sponsorship and commitment. Pag ikaw lang ang nag-produce niyan at walang commitment from the top, wala, hindi yan maging successful. It should involve a broad base of leaders, managers, and employees in the development. Hindi pwede isang tao lang gumagawa niya. It has to be involvement of all people. Lalo na kung ang metrics niyan talaga is talagang from the top hanggang sa baba. Merong balance scorecard yung company, yung business. May scorecard yung mga division, may scorecard yung mga department, may scorecard yung individual people. Usually madami sa baba and then pakunti sa taas. Kaya nga sa 4 disciplines of execution, nasabi kailangan magkaroon tayo ng compelling scorecard. Compelling means hindi yung napakadaming metrics na kakaroon ka ng analysis paralysis. Dapat ang metric mo dyan kakaunti lang pero talagang effective. Yung talagang tipong majujog ka sa may upuan mo, sa pagkakaupo mo kasi alam mo na you need to do something. Diba? Something like that. Yung metrics na talagang magmamatter. The metrics of really matter. Ayun, kailangan meron ding right scorecard champion, beginning the interactive two-way communication first. Viewing the scorecard as a long-term journey rather than a short-term project. Hindi siya yung mabilisan lang, no? Tapos yung tipong para lang sa cash incentive sa dulo. Hindi dapat yun. Getting outside help, mga consultancy, mga consultants para help. Kasi minsan may mga perspective na nakikita yung outsider kaysa sa'yo. Lalo na't araw-araw nakikita. You are always in the company, you are always seeing everybody is seeing. So when you bring along another person, he or she will see things that you have not seen. Okay? Example ng balance scorecard. So makikita niyo naman dito, no, from the bottom area, we have this skills. Ito yung strategy map. So mapapansin nyo dito muna tayo sa mga process, manufacturing excellence. Theme is yung ROCE should be greater than something percent. And then volume should be something units. Ito yung mga perspective niya. Financial is long-term shareholder value, return on capital employed should be greater than this percent. Improve productivity, grow revenue. Yan. Tapos, customer perspective naman, offer products and services that are consistent, timely, and low cost. Low cost, customer satisfaction, world class, enhancing the brand. So, yan ang mga point nyo. Tapos, internal perspective, ensuring operation excellence with innovation as well as being all socially responsible. So, ano yan, operation excellence, alliances with SBU, mga strategic business units, process innovation, being socially responsible. Finally, we have the learning and growth perspective. We have skills and info system. So, ito yung mga objectives niya. No? So, ito, magiging metrics lang, magiging, lang muna siya objectives. Operating cost efficiency, capacity utilization, capability utilization, brand and image, low-cost manufacturing, so operational naman to, world-class delivery timing, knowledgeable and skilled partner, high customer satisfaction, reinforcing of brand image, productivity delivery, continuous improvement, NPI, uh, safety and health, process innovation, and environment, developing the necessary skills, information systems availability, and mga uptime, downtime, no? Strategic awareness, okay? Tapos sa scorecard naman mismo, ano din yung measurement? Ito yung mga KPI mo ngayon, no? Cost or unit efficiency, utilization in terms of percent, lalo na sa manufacturing, no? Pinapakita mo yan. While productivity, production, spare parts produced, tile produced, warranty cost, man hour per unit, computation yan ng ano, no, kung ilan, magkano ang ano nila, no? Ano na gastos per unit. Ilang man hour kasi nagko-compute ka ng ano yan, ng value. Defect, anong rate ng defect? Sa Six Sigma, importante ito, sales delivery, direct pass rate, etc. No? Dito, cycle time, daily plan. So, ilan ang nami-meet sa daily plan. Kaizen, ICC, time introduction, industrial accident, computing accident, how many accidents in the workplace, toxic waste disposal, sa mga may ISO, importante yan. Yan. Okay? And then, R&D development, ALC, procurement, financial, alignment, ano din. And then, for action plan naman, paano mo makikita to? Kung monitor mo siya monthly, weekly monitoring, monthly monitoring, daily monitoring even, tapos meron ka pang production and sales meeting, hourly monitoring. So, dyan mo makikita kung saan mo siya magagather. And then, syempre, yung budget, either sa OPEX o kaya sa CAPEX. So, Balanced Scorecard Strategy Map. Ito galing mismo to sa libro ni Kaplan and Norton sa Strategy Map. So, mapapansin nyo, dito sa baba, we have the learning and growth perspective. Ang nakalagay niyang, objective, a motivated and prepared workforce. Kasi people yan eh. So, andyan dyan yung strategy competencies, strategic technologies, climate for action. Because you have this, akit ngayon yan. Ano yung internal perspective? Build the franchise, innovation processes, increase customer value, customer management processes, achieve operational excellence, operational processes, be a good corporate citizen, environmental processes. Kung importante talaga environmental, talaga to naka-base ito dun sa value chain, sa value strategies ng company. And then you have the customer value perspective, which also deals with how satisfied the customers are on the following: product and service attributes, price, quality, timeliness or time, functionality. Sa relationship naman, ano yung ng service, relationships. Kung papansin nyo, may mga araw yan papunta dito. Mangyayari yan because of the operational excellence. Mangyayari itong operational excellence because of the motivated and prepared workforce. And then for the image, into the brand. Recognition, brand awareness, brand excellence. Then finally, the financial perspective, ito yung focus natin sa ating topic. We have to build the franchise, increase the customer value, improve the cost structure, improve the asset utilization. So because of those, magkakaroon ka ng productivity strategy, siyempre, improving the cost structure and asset utilization. And then we have the revenue growth strategy. And then you will improve yung shareholder value, return on capital employed, of course, finally, improving shareholder value. So, department level scorecard naman, marami kang kino-consider doon eh. You have so many things to consider. So, for example, for business value, these are the goals and measures. How do we look to the management? So, financial yan. No? How do the users see us? User orientation, so customer. Are we satisfying the user needs? Ayan, user. What can we do to meet the future needs of users? Future readiness. Okay? Internal process. Future readiness maybe has something to do with learning and growth, no? And then internal process has something to do with the process. Are we working efficiently? How do we continue to improve and create value? Okay? So the formula would be internal efficiency plus customer satisfaction equals service success. Internal efficiency is the internal process. Customer satisfaction is the user orientation. Pag ginawa mo yan, you have service success. Therefore, hindi mangyayari yan kung hindi naman ready ka sa future readiness ng company, whether information systems o yung tao mismo sa mga future needs ng market or even current needs. Ito naman yung mga scorecards, potential pitfalls, and criticism. Ang sabi dito, Dogbert consults. You need a dashboard application to track your key metrics. Okay? That way, you'll have more data to ignore when you make your decisions based on company politics. Will the data be accurate? Okay, let's pretend that matters. So, ang point lang dito is that most of the times, hindi mo alam kung talaga bang hindi nakikita ng management o kaya baka mali ang pag-explain ng data sa kanila. Kaya nagde-design, nag-manage sila or nagde-decision, no, without considering or sometimes even ignoring the scorecard o yung mga data. Bakit kaya ganun, no? Minsan naisip mo yan, bakit kaya ganun ang management? Ibig sabihin ba nila nakikita yun o baka hindi nakakarating sa kanila yung data? No, maaaring ganyan. So, scorecards, potential pitfalls, and criticism. Lack of well-defined strategy. Hindi mangyayaring magiging successful ang scorecard kung wala kang well-defined strategy. And dapat ma-understand mo yung linkages ng strategic objectives and the metrics. So, halimbawa, you want your shareholder to increase in value, paano mangyayari yun? Siyempre, kung mas mataas ang customer satisfaction, paano magiging satisfying customer? Kaya anong process ganito? Ano mga importante sa kanila? Kailangan yung price, ganyan, yung quality, ganito, yung experience, ganito. So, all of those will now be tracked. And ita-target mo naman sa competencies dapat ng mga tao mo. And yung IT mo should support that. So, pag dalawa makikita mo na well-defined yung strategy. And pwede mo magkamali yun. Malinaw naman sa'yo, pero hindi pala tama, no? Anong mga pwedeng nagkakamali doon? Pwedeng number one, hindi mo tinanong yung customers o kaya yung customer base mo nagbabago. Tinanong mo pala yan noong 1990s, no? Yung mga early millennials yan. Eh ngayon may kasama ng mga Z group or yung mga digital natives. Iba na pala. So, kailangan talaga ina-update mo yan. O kaya naman, yung may na-conquer kang bagong market, yung senior citizens na before, dati hindi mo ibili ng product mo ngayon, napupunta na doon. So, kailangan tingnan mo yung experience from that perspective. Yan. So, too much focus on the lagging measures. Ito, nababanggit natin ito po ulit. And the lagging measures align with the financial perspective. Lagi. Well, hindi man lagi, but more or less parang yun yung tingin ng companies. So, pag lagging measures, ano yung sales natin? Di ba, lagging measures yun eh. Pag naka-focus ka sa lag measures, hindi mo na-appreciate ano ang nagpo-produce, what produces the lag measures. So, for example, in schools, ang lag measures would be enrollment. But the leading metrics, the leading measures would be yung number of examinees para sa freshmen. And pag hindi sila nakarating sa school o hindi sila nag-exam, walang mag-enroll kasi doon nagagaling enrollment, right? So, dapat pataasin mo yun. Okay, ang marketing would see to it na barating sila sa school, makita na yung school, mag-exam sila, dahil doon magagaling, sabihin natin, translation rate would be 50%, doon magagaling yung 50% ng ating enrollment. So, you will see na really, performance management system, strategic management system, focus on the lead measures. At titignan mo dapat kung ano yung relationship ng dalawang yan. Anong kailangan mo i-produce na maigi, dumami para kumita ka or lumaki ang lag measures. So, in the case, for example, of sales, may sales force ka, ang sinabi mo, ang pinaka-leading measures would be the number of people attending the convention and ang target mo 150, ang dapat lang 75, ipupush mo ulit yan kasi kailangan maging 150 kasi may magic number ka dyan. For example, for 150, ang mariretain dyan ay 15. Yung 15 naman magpuproduce ng $1,000 per month, something like that. So, makikita mo na more or less na, okay, kailangan mag-produce pala ako ng madami para pag nawala yung iba, ang ma-retain sa akin madami talaga. Something like that. Yun yung leading measures instead of the lagging measures. So, use of generic metrics, ang nangyayari naman dito, you're copying, just merely copying from another firm. So, dapat you should identify the measures that apply to your strategy and competitive position. Don't just rely on mga generic metrics na kung saan, nakita mo for example sa Toyota, nakita mo sa Ford, nakita mo sa Hyundai, or, this shipping company, or this bakery or this supermarket. Iba-iba yan eh. So, depende sa company mo. Kaya kailangan, pag may well-defined strategy ka, usually sa'yo yun, hindi iba. So, mag-a-analyze ka ng strength mo, weaknesses, and saka yung bottom line mo, iba naman sa kanila, right? Okay? And then ito, sinabi natin ito kanina, yung self-serving managers. Ang managers, minsan, ang goal nila is just to obtain the bonus. So, hindi na nakikita yung buong perspective. Kasi pag gano'n, nakafocus ka lang sa bottom line, hindi mo nakikita na what leads to the bottom line. So, dapat, ang tinitingnan mo yung result na sustainable at continuous consistently, no? Hindi yung mandadaya ka. For example, i-bypass mo yung mga rules, tapos sa dulo, malalaman, no, na may ginawa ka palang mali, tapos, masisira yung reputation ng company. Eh, ikaw, nakaalas ka na, nagkaroon ka ng golden parachute, umalis ka na sa company, yun, mahirap yung gano'n. It really has to focus on the long term. Okay? So, ito yung benefit recap. Yung balanced scorecards helps to align key performance measures with strategy at all levels of the organization. Hindi lang sa taas, kundi hanggang sa baba. The methodology facilitates communication. Yes, no? Kasi sometimes you don't even have to have so many officers pag meron silang scorecard. For example, my ultimate idol, no? Si Warren Buffett. He has only 20 people in his organization, and that organization, Berkshire Hathaway, has $100 billion of value of asset. They have about 1,000. They run about 1,000 companies. They own DQ. They have a portion share. They own Coca-Cola. There's so many things that they own. Washington Post, I think, hanggang ngayon. American Express, yes. Ang dami nilang hawak na company, 1,000, 1,000. I think, ano din sila, no? Investor din sila ng Apple, no? And pag gano'n, makikita mo na talagang they don't even have to have a lot of people kasi nga meron silang communication. And sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, when he bought Universal Insurance, ito yung insurance ng mga insurance companies. So he didn't even go to the company to look at the going on of the company. Ang ano lang niya is, just the financial statement, tinignan niya yun, and then nakapag-usap sa mga tao, kilala niya yung mga tao yun. You don't even have to be there. So yung balance scorecard, as I said, has something to do with control. Yung they make siya yung C part. Nakokontrol mo yung organization just by looking at the metrics. Yan. Strategic initiatives that follow best practices, methodologies that cascade to the entire organization. So if you have a strategic initiative on the top level, o kaya minsan sa cross-function, nakikita mo yan. Nasi-share yan among all the parts of the organization. So in a way, yan susunod doon, it transformed the organization's mission statement and strategic plan from a passive document, nandoon lang sa may wall, hindi binabasa, whatever, nagiging siyang marching orders. Kasi nakikita mo from the goals, objectives, nagiging metrics, nagiging initiative, nagiging action plan. So it enables executives to truly execute their strategies by identifying what should be done, na-identify niya yung what should be done and what should be measured. Sabi nga ni Joseph Duran, Paul Woodnut sa sasabihin, you cannot improve what you don't measure. Sabi rito, no, to date, some form of a balanced scorecard is used by nearly 60% of Fortune 500 companies. I don't doubt that, no. In fact, baka nga mas madami pa dyan. Some form of a scorecard may be around 80% to 90%. Okay, so that's it. But before we go, I'd like to show you, may papapakita na isang things here. Yan. So ito is an example of Balanced Scorecard Designer. Kung makakaya nyong i-download, no? BSc Designer. Hindi naman kasi tayo nakafocus sa Balanced Scorecards. But if you want to use it like your thesis or maybe you want to write something about it or you want to use it. Ako dati, gumawa ako ng personal BSc. Ito ginagamit ko. So, meron tong free version, hindi mo na ako nagbabayad na dito. No? But I think the paid version looks something like this. Mas maganda. Kita nyo, no? Yung strategy map talagang ano niyan. Meron siyang strategy map legend. Nasa Excel niya nilalagay. Kaya siyang i-execute sa Excel. Meron kang strategic theme. Meron kang customer. Yan, ito yung kanyang customer intimacy, leading indicator, lagging indicator. So, may mga ka dito. Naka-filter. Pwede mo i-export yung strategy map niya, may dashboard ka, may analysis. Ito yung may goal ka rito and then makikita mo kung nasaan ka na. Internal customers, improve talent attraction strategy, customer perspective, makikita mo kung ilang percent na yung score mo. And then finally, sa taas nito, magkakaroon ka ng total score ng lahat nito. Kasi may mga, may mga weights ito nag-assign ko dyan. Okay? Ayan. So, kailangan daw, di-define mo yung mission, vision, value, i-define mo yung core perspective, top-level goals, business goals, rationale, and i-define mo yung mga metrics, saka initiatives, and then ikaka-scale mo sa baba. Ayan. Tapos madami naman dito, pwede nyo tingnan yan. Dami-daming mga, dito, mga examples ng BSc templates. Yun, I think, mahalaga talaga ang BSc, lalo na syempre sa financial, no? Kasi ang financial talaga yun yung napakadaming metrics at tinitingnan, no? So, for me, if you know your scorecard, then not only sa financial perspective, but lalo na sa operation, saka sa customer focus, makikita mo talaga nag-improve ka through time. Kasi you keep on improving. Even on a personal level, you have a scorecard, ito yung gusto mong mangyari. For example, now, hindi pa ako masters, pero eventually, ito yung gusto kong ma-achieve. 9 units ngayon, 9 units na naman sa susunod na term. Kailangan by this time, matatapos ko na itong study plan ko, and then you will see ilang percent na ako tapos, di ba, ilang units na, and then makikita mo siya para kang gumagawa ng sarili mong scorecard, no? Para ikaw, pag gising mo, okay, nasa na ako dito, okay, ano ang aking savings, saan na ako sa investment ko sa stock market, something like that. And sa customer focus naman, ano ang rating ko sa office, yung aking performance. Pag ako nag-talk, anong rating sa akin ng mga audience ko. Something like that. Pero yung mga bagay na yun. So again, this is the end of the presentation. I know it's been a long presentation for chapter 1, but that is basically an introduction to financial management. Introduction pa lang po yun. So thank you for listening. Your time, we will still upload. No, you don't need to view this on a live, you know, uh, on the live telecast. You can view it on a replay or you can just play it habang uh, you're eating or something or doing something else kasi marinig mo naman yung sinasabi ko and then you can just glance it once, once in a while. Of course, don't do it while driving and all that. So, yan, thank you. Thank you very much for listening. If you also like the content of this channel, pwede kayong mag-subscribe kasi long after you are already done with your studies, you'll see the channel still publishing interesting videos about business. Yan naman ang mga usual kong topic, business, stock market, operations, strategy, and sometimes insights about life and all that. And pretty proud of what I'm doing here. So if you like what you see, leave a like, mag-comment din po kayo sa mga questions nyo. Not only here, but also, not only in the channel, but also in the canvas. So that if you have questions, pwede din po kayo maglagay dyan para sa next topic natin, next lecture, I'll talk about it more. And let me know your insights, kayo ng comment dyan below, o kaya naman sa ating canvas. And I really love getting feedback from our students. So that's it. Thank you very much. Peace out.